This episode was recorded May 1st, 2025. This episode is intended as adult comedy and satire. In light of recent events, listener discretion is highly advised.
You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Welcome to Cinema Z, a film discussion and review podcast on BQN. We're here to showcase the films you probably missed but should definitely check out. From independent and obscure to art house and absurd, each episode we'll gather, perhaps with a cocktail in hand, to discuss it all. I'm your host, Matt, and with me today is Mark. Mark, how are you doing?
Oh, Matt, I am doing excellent. So nice to see your face. It's been a hot minute.
It has been a hot minute. I don't know what that means, but I just said it that way.
Yes, I've seen you all over the grams. You've had pointed ears. You've been hanging out on starships. It's so exciting. I am envy.
I've been hanging out on starships indeed. I have been working on the bridge of the Starship Enterprise. I have been doing musical numbers on the Starship Enterprise as I wait for tour groups to come in on the Enterprise. So, what's the cocktail that you have in hand, Mark?
Oh, my Lord. So it's spring is here in New England. So I'm back to trying different hard ciders. And yeah, there's a few hard cider breweries in my area. This one is from Salem, Massachusetts, a home of the witches. Or the witch burnings. May have heard of it.
In case anyone wanted to know, that's a little bit of trivia. History is very important here at Cinema Z.
Yes, there is a historical drama film called Hocus Pocus. You guys can check out. It's very historically accurate.
Yes, the drama, Disney, the Salem drama. I know it well.
Jesus, Jeez, you got me all tongue-tied. Okay, so this particular hard cider is called Juicy. Like I like my men.
It also sounds like a brand that Lizzo would put out, and I would totally buy it.
Oh, it's a tall one, and it's a strong one. And this is from the brewery is called Far From the Tree. Now, Far From the Tree, they are amazing. If you ever have the chance to go to Salem, check them out. They work with a lot of local nonprofits, especially with animal rights organizations and also LGBTQI plus youth individuals. I know the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence are constantly there all of the time. Yeah, so it's very queer friendly, very dog friendly, hence why I think it's awesome.
That's awesome. When we're done doing this, I'm gonna have to try to get a hold of it, see if I can order some of it, because that sounds amazing.
Oh my god! And they're always changing up and doing different flavors. They have a few. The Juicy is I think all year round, but they have certain ones that they do in the summer that they'll put in pineapple in and stuff like that. And it's like pineapple with jalapeno peppers.
I mean, I no shade to the jalapeno pepper lovers out there at all. It's just I tried a jalapeno margarita many moons ago, and it did not sit well with my spirit or my taste buds.
Okay.
Wait, what flavor is it that you have right now?
Oh, like I said, this is just called Juicy, but it's literally just like a regular hard apple cider. It's their basic one.
Yeah.
But it's strong. And I've already drank half the can. We're in for a treat.
This is gonna be a fun pod, listeners. So moving on.
What are you drinking, girl?
Oh, shit. That's right. You should. All right. So listeners, I have upped my game. I'm a bit more classy now as I get into my elder age. I have started to really enjoy espresso martinis. I don't know why, but I have been on this espresso martini journey with my friend Will for the last couple of months. We're just all about them. This espresso martini is not one that I made. It's from Trader Joe's. You can buy it in a
Oh,
bottle. I can't remember
I
the
thought it was
name of
from
it.
Ralph's.
No, no, I shan't. I dare not go to Ralph's anymore. Too
Oh, okay.
expensive. Yeah, you can
Too
just
expensive.
it's Ralph's is so expensive. It's not even funny. If you're here on the West Coast, listeners, if you're here in California, you know, Ralph's prices compared to Trader Joe's prices are expensive. But yeah, you can get this espresso martini in a bottle at Trader Joe's, and I bought it on a whim a couple of weeks back, and I was like, I don't know, but I bought it and I tasted it, and it was amazing. And now I can't get enough.
Thanks for the recommend.
Yes. So, in addition to that, what's been in the tube? What have you been watching?
Oh my goodness. So, as you know, the last few episodes, I've been talking about my Letterboxd account.
Right.
Uh, well, I watched a film the other day and didn't immediately write a review. Bad, Mark, bad. So I haven't actually put it in Letterboxd yet, but I did watched. I did watch the recent Bob Dylan movie that came out, um, A Complete Unknown with Timothy Chalamet.
Mhm.
Which is funny because we had covered I'm Not There on
Right,
this
right.
pod, and so it was sort of interesting seeing, like, a more sort of linear biopic,
Mhm, mhm.
about Dylan. I was just kinda wondering how they were going to do that. What I thought was kinda cool is that, in I'm Not There, they used all of these different characters to kind of tell the story of this one man, Bob Dylan, and what they did with A Complete Unknown, I feel like, is yes, it's kind of like your regular linear story kind of biopic, but you're learning about Bob through his interactions with different people in his life,
Hmm,
more than just watching him go from beat to beat to beat, right? So
mhm,
you're it's like him and like his relationship with like Woody Guthrie and his relationship with Joan Baez, and so you're learning about him sort of through the lenses of these different other people in his life, and you're seeing sort of their life and how their lives have been impacted by him, the ramifications of his decisions, what is happening to the people around him. And so it's kind of left to the audience to sort of make up their mind of who the man is.
hmm,
It's left a little ambiguous in that way. So in that regard, it's not, 100% typical. It is a little different in the way they went about it.
mhm,
And I think that James Mangold, I think that that's sort of the brilliance of the way he approached it. And he's really good at doing the biopics. He's a good guy to get for those. But yeah, so my final thought on it, I guess, is that if you are curious about Dylan and or already are a big Dylan fan, I think you're going to eat it up and want more. But I think if you go into it not knowing anything about Dylan, or not really, caring about his music, and you watch it, you might like, oh, this is kind of a good movie. But I don't know if it's necessarily going to be for you in the same kind of way.
hmm, hmm.
Yeah, is what I'm saying. Like, it's a good film, but if you're a Dylan fan, then you might think it's a great film. Like, my dad's a Dylan fan, and he thought it was a great film. He thought it was like the best biopic he'd ever seen. But
Oh,
he's a
wow. Okay.
built-in Dylan fan,
Yes, there's
So
yeah,
that has a
there's a
lot to
little
do with it.
bias there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you been watching?
I haven't really been watching anything new, uh, just because I've been so tired lately that I'm like, I don't wanna have to think about anything. I just wanna let my mind go. So I have been revisiting, oddly, the X-Men movies. Um, I don't know why, but I've been revisiting the X-Men movies. I've gone from X-Men 1, 2, 3, and I guess I'm just watching them in chronological order according to the time that they were released. So right
Uh-huh.
now I'm on the Wolverine, the first Wolverine movie with with Hugh Jackman, which I know people didn't like, but I kind of liked. Um, I also forget that that's the first time we see Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, and then almost 10 years down the road, he's got his own Deadpool movie.
Mhm.
Um, I think in this time, I've just been clinging to my nostalgia, and the X-Men movies are just a major part of my nostalgia and of my healing process as I cope with what's happening in the world. So yeah, X-Men has just been where it's at. I'll probably bounce on to God. What came after the Wolverine? After the Wolverine,
You're
I
asking the wrong
remember.
guy.
No, I remember. See, I'm a completionist, especially with my franchise Zez. My franchise has. So I'll probably hop on to X-Men First Class
Yeah,
after
but you
that.
didn't finish Battlestar Galactica, you shit.
No, that's right. I didn't. I told you
Mr.
that.
Completionist. I remember that.
Wow,
My memory's
wow.
bad, but I remember you didn't finish
The
BSG.
receipts. No, listeners, maybe we talked about this on the pod. I don't remember, but listeners, there is a whole gap of Battlestar Galactica that I have missed after everybody makes it off of New Caprica. There's like probably a good couple of episodes that I'm like, I don't know what happened, but you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and skip to the finale of the show. So,
Not a good idea.
so there's like gaps that I need to fill in. Also, my friend Will has also been fussing about me about like filling in that gap as well and finishing up Galactica. So I will one day when my brain is ready to think again.
I'm with you, Will. Fill Matt's gap in this watching, in the viewing.
Yeah, we're both tops, so it wouldn't work. It's just it. Yeah, here we are, moving on to the film, the event of the pod, Inglorious Bastards. Inglorious Bastards was released in 2009. It was written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. The film takes place in Nazi occupied France during World War II. There is a plan to assassinate Nazi leaders by a group of Jewish U.S. soldiers. It also happens to coincide with a theater owner's vengeful plans for that same vengeance. So, Mark, why did you want to watch this film?
Oh man. Well, I watched it when it came out. I'm trying to think back to '09. Um, what drew me to it? I think I think kind of like almost it being like a fairy tale for adults. And the fact that like this wasn't something that happened, this
Right.
wasn't based on real people. But imagine if it was. Imagine
Yeah.
if this could have happened.
Uh,
How lovely that world would have been.
yeah.
you know. Um and I I remember like so I like Tarantino. Obviously like we did Jackie Brown on this pod and that's like my fave. I love Jackie Brown. Um but what I like, especially like later years Tarantino, is that his love of cinema certainly shines through in the fact that he appreciates like older films that are a little bit slower paced. You have more time to spend with the characters. You have more time for like just visual porn. So you just put it up there and you're just looking at like a shot that's just gorgeous for
There
like a
is.
long period of time.
And
And
also
then
like the
the
monologues are
juxtaposition with music, like he'll insert like modern music and be like, oh, this is really a cool scene even though it's like classic scene. I
right.
don't know, just yeah, he has a lot of like tricks in his toolbox that I just enjoy. So I think that's why I originally watched it.
I decided to watch it because after we watched Bent, I was like, I need revenge. I need revenge. I need people to get got.
Yeah, Bent was a lot.
Bent
Thank you,
was
listeners.
I was like, I need revenge, and I think it was just, I don't know, it was the perfect response. I was like, we have Bent, and then we have Inglorious Bastards, and so that was just to me something that just made sense to go ahead and pick that movie. I
It did
think,
feel good.
oh my god, it felt amazing. I needed a cigarette afterwards. I was like, oh, it was good for me. Um,
Let's go
I
punch
also
some Nazis.
like, please, in 2025 America, do your duty, do what you must do, and go punch a Nazi today. Um, I saw this movie in 2009. I saw it when it came out. I remember seeing it with my friend Emerson and a few other college friends and really enjoying it. And I think at that point in time, I had more or less realized I'm a Tarantino fan. I like Quentin Tarantino movies. And after I saw this movie, I knew I loved it. I knew I wanted to go back and watch it again. And it just never happened. I just never got there.
Were you okay? So after we had discussed Jackie Brown,
Yeah.
it was brought up in the pod about his fascination with feet,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking for it now in this viewing because we had discussed it and I didn't even know it was a thing. And
Right.
now I'm aware it's a thing. So I was looking out for it. And the only thing I could think of, the only moment I thought of in this film where like feet came up
Mm-hmm.
was towards the end when he had captured the actress and she had
Yes.
that damaged leg and he's like, oh, put your foot in my
Put
lap or
your foot.
whatever, you know.
Yep.
I was like, ooh, the feet's coming out, but it was in a cast. You didn't even see the damn
Uh,
thing.
I mean, look, it could be that could be kink, right? Like that's we've got bare feet. We have people have a thing for feet in shoes. People have a thing for feet
Oh,
in socks. It's like jock straps. It's the same. Like it's not just a bare butt. It can be in things. Listen,
ooh, look at that cast. Ooh.
right? Exactly. I mean, look, it could have been. It could be a thing. So we say this all the time here in Cinema Z. We are not
We're not
here.
here to king shame.
We are not here to kink shame. Whatever your kink is, if you want a foot in the cast, then please enjoy that foot in the cast.
In the cast.
Yeah.
You can even drill a little hole in that cast.
You could. You could. If that gets your goat, hey. So, all that to say, feet and casts and foot fetishes aside, I really wanted to go back and revisit this movie because it had been a while and I wanted to see some Nazis getting punched and scalped, as you do in 2025.
And I want my scalps.
um so I think that leads me to my next question. As I've been thinking about this, the whole movie takes place, or the movie revolves around this film premiere, right? It's this assassination attempt that's going to happen at this film premiere in this movie theater, and we know, a major part of the rise of Nazism is the propaganda, the use of propaganda. And in this movie, we've got this propaganda about this, quote unquote Nazi hero that killed, I don't know how many soldiers supposedly in the tower
Well,
over what huh?
can I just I gotta interject this. We're talking
Please.
about propaganda and we're talking about, Goebbels, who the proprietor of the theater goes and meets him at the restaurant with the suitor with that SS officer. Anyway,
Yeah.
I sorry, but when I looked at Goebbels, all I could think of was like, oh, that's like Stephen Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, Stephen Miller, that's the bald one, right?
yeah.
Doesn't he gives like,
But it's that vibe of like the just pure evil snakeness.
I mean, pure evil snakeness, but he also gives like, I don't know, like young Nosferatu vibes. Doesn't he? He looks like a young Nosferatu. I I see it. I don't know. Like,
Come to me. Come to me.
that might be what he really sounds like. When he's
Bring
doing,
me your illegal immigrant children. Bring me
that's
all of them.
probably what he sounds like.
He's
That's
obsessed.
yeah.
The man's obsessed with like kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
Deporting like kids. What a sick, twisted. Anyway, but like I said, like Goebbels, I was getting that vibe when I was
Yeah.
watching this film.
And it's because obviously I wasn't living through that dictatorship, that dictatorship. I'm living through a different dictatorship right now, but um I think about just the way that the higher ups were so enthusiastic and so strategic in having this premiere at this theater and it's a smaller venue. They mentioned, oh, well, this is a smaller venue than we'd originally wanted, but if we make it a smaller venue, it's going to put on this image that it's more exclusive.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we're watching the scenes in the theater, and everyone's applauding, and then you have the one high-ranking officer that's crying during the movie after Hitler tells him, "You did such a good job." And it really got me to thinking about the importance and the power of the arts and the influence of the arts in a time like that. And I want to say, in comparison to what we're dealing with now in the United States, how important is the arts? How important was the arts then? How important is the arts now when it comes to imagery, when it comes to shaping people's minds and opinions?
Oh, well, I think that they, especially on the right here in America, have been trying uh, for a long time to sort of use what tools they could to spread, their hate messages, right? And so I think, early plans, I think we're like starting out with like buying like a lot of like radio stations. Then it was like a lot of TV stations. And then it was like, okay, like a couple of corporations own like all of the local news. And then all of a sudden, like it comes down from on high to like, give everybody the same kind of scripts. And it's been parodied. You can find so many parody videos on YouTube of like all of these different news anchors from all over the country reading the same garbage. And so it sort of started out sort of there, because I think it's been harder for them to break into like Hollywood, because Hollywood tends to be like a pretty liberal place, and a lot of like, I guess, right leaning scripts don't really get greenlit, and if they do, they're not really marketed in the same way or funded in the same way,
Yeah,
which thank goodness,
thank goodness. And
because we don't want to see that shit.
no, nobody wants it, and it's not as popular either. And that's the thing that I've really realized. It's just not. I mean, granted, the higher ups that are working for these studios, they don't really care about integrity. They care about money, right?
Yeah,
Um,
mostly, I
so
think. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there are some good ones. There are some good ones out there. But a lot of the time for them, it's just about the bottom line, and I think it's just very interesting that Hollywood, in particular, has always pretty much just been, for the most part, pretty liberal, and forward. Now, the execution sometimes isn't always the best. Like, we can talk about
Yeah.
representation in Hollywood, and we can talk about, you know, scenes in films that should not have been uh, put up in a movie because it
Mhm.
comes off a certain way. Um, but
Well,
overall,
social media is like the same kind of idea, where you have a couple of companies controlling all of what you're seeing on social media, and the algorithms are being controlled by a couple of individuals, right? And so that's sort of been, I think they're in the modern era, they're way in, right? Just feeding all of this fake news, all of this negative, hate filled imagery at the masses for such a long time, that it really has like poisoned and disillusioned the culture
yeah,
in a way.
yeah,
So I think they've been more effective there than, as we were saying and discussing, like in than they have been in like classic, like quote unquote Hollywood, like TV and films.
yeah. It's just not. I mean, I think, putting it simply, hatred just doesn't sell. Like, if we're gonna put it in, if we're gonna just put in terms of numbers, hate doesn't sell. It's not. And studio heads, if you're listening to this, on the off chance, it just doesn't make you money. If you
Like
can't,
Snow White and the Seven White Supremacists. Like,
like,
it doesn't quite have the same ring to it.
it, like,
You get Snow White riding in on a hog, and then the seven skinheads behind her. I mean, it's just like that. You don't want to show that to your kids, really, necessarily.
no, no, it's like, um, So yeah, studio heads, if you're out there and you are listening to our pod, and if you can't look at things with empathy, look at it with numbers, which is probably the language that you speak. It doesn't sell to be hateful. It doesn't make money. It doesn't make money to roll back on DEI. It doesn't.
Target learned that.
Target did learn that, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
So look, and there are other studios that I'm not going to name that I know are struggling, that are rolling back their DEI, and I'm like, you especially cannot afford to be canceled right now.
Ooh, girl.
Not you. You can't afford it. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to mention, but you especially.
BET is firing all of their black hosts. I'm just kidding. it would make sense in 2025 in some warped way, but
it would, like, it would absolutely happen.
They hire all these blondes.
But even speaking on a more artistic note now, I think when we look at Inglorious Bastards and when we look at how the movie is revolved around this film premiere and how it is all about image and putting out this image of strength and pride and whatever else, for the Nazi party, I say to artists, now is your time, and I'm probably saying this to myself as well. Now is your time to make your content, to tell your stories. Your power, your influence is it's unmeasured, and don't underestimate it. Don't underestimate it. Propaganda is a very strong tool. The tool of visual art, the tool of art is very strong when it comes to spreading messages of hate. So imagine what you can do if you spread a message of love, especially in 2025. Get your stuff out there. So I've been thinking about this as I have watched the movie and after the movie. The character of Hans Landa. He's definitely a standout character played by Christoph Waltz, right? That's the actor's name.
Yep.
What is very interesting about him is that there's the obvious characteristics that go along with playing the Nazi character. There's the white supremacist arrogance, which is always a thing. That's just common. But what I really found interesting about this character is that he has a joy about his interrogation process, about questioning people. There is an element of him almost like a predator playing with their food, if you will, before they eat it. I wonder, who is this guy? Maybe we can have some fun and think up what his backstory might be. Why does he get a joy out of playing with people before he goes in for the kill? Quite literally.
I don't know. It's like you hear about stories of, like, somebody in the next town over, so and so, their child was kicked out of school because they were torturing cats or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like he'd be one of those kids that would just, would get in trouble for, finding stray cats and torturing them, or, I don't know, doing any number of, like, things to inflict pain and violence on, the helpless, from a very young age. And I think that maybe it was encouraged in his household, and he grew up in that sort of hate-filled household. Yeah, and so I think for him it was always like, it brings him back to his childhood. He just associates that with, like, pain. I mean, the pain with pleasure.
Yeah, I think you are absolutely right. It might be his kink. And again, we're not here to kink shame, but
well, in this occasion, let's shame that kink.
We draw the line at killing people and
or
being
torturing
a Nazi.
Animals.
Yeah, and torturing animals. That is, we will kink shame you for that.
Yeah.
I have to agree with you. I think that this character, Hans Landa, I would definitely say at a very young age, something happened where that kind of behavior was encouraged, and he just took pleasure in other people's pain.
I don't think that there was anything super villainy or unrealistic about his character at all. I think his character has lived and walked this earth in many different forms. I think
Yes.
that this character still exists. There are people out there, uh, today that have this sort of mindset about them, and I don't know what the answer is to what to do with people like that. Like, is there a way to rehabilitate or insert kindness? I have no idea. I don't know if they've been systematically programmed from early age to just be sadistic and twisted towards the helpless. I don't know.
I
I just
that's
don't know.
that's a great question. I don't know if that kind of programming is deprogrammable. I really don't know. And that's not
I
to
will
say,
say though
yeah,
about Christoph Waltz as an actor,
yes.
eh, his character, probably one of the most despicable characters ever to grace the silver screen
Oh, hands
and
down.
will ever happen. And to find an actor with the ability to, like you said, he wasn't playing it in a supervillain sort of unrealistic way. You said yourself that he had like this gleeful quality about him, right? He
Yes.
brought that in. That was something that the actor brought in. And so I think Christoph Waltz, even though this character was just despicable rat, uh, that you have to give him his flowers for his acting chops in this, because he acted the shit out of that part. Like, you believed he was, evil incarnate.
He was phenomenal. He was absolutely phenomenal. And I think the thing that is most interesting about Christoph Waltz's performance as Hans Landa is the fact that you just didn't know what he was going to do. You didn't know what the character was going to do.
Yes. Yeah,
It,
exactly.
he was so unpredictable.
He could go anywhere.
He could
That's what made him so terrifying.
that was it. You didn't know. The responses that you could imagine were unmeasurable. The character was unpredictable. There are moments where this character is bursting into laughter. There are moments where this character is bursting into rage, and he can go from 0 to 100 at the snap of a finger. And it was insane. For my Star Trek listeners, when I look at this character, if we were to make a Star Trek Deep Space Nine show today, Hans Landa is Garrick, hands down.
I thought he was going to be Gold Dukat. You
No,
went
that
with Garrick?
this is Garrick. Garrick enjoys, because we know Garrick, and Garrick enjoys the process of torture, just like Hans does.
Yeah, but Garrick is lovable. I love me Garrick. Sorry. He tortures the bad people.
But he's got a dark
He
history.
he
Um,
does. That queen has some skeletons in her closet,
she
girl.
does.
She
She does.
does.
She's petty. But actually, I mean, Mark, that, bringing up the thought of the possibility of Hans at a young age kind of having that joy of torture, that joy of inflicting pain on people that are helpless, um, exposed to him at a young age. It kind of leads me to this question. We've got the existence of the Inglorious Bastards, which is to me a direct response to the barbarism of the Nazis. It's a direct response to Nazism, to Nazi culture. Um, we've got a lot of scenes in this movie that are gratuitous in terms of violence. We've got the removing of scalps.
Mm.
We've got the monologue that Lieutenant Alderaan has about just killing Nazis. Um, some might say, this is revenge porn, but my question is this revenge porn or is it justified? Again, especially with
Can it be
the
both?
it could be. It could be.
I feel like it's a little of both. I don't know. I get a little revenge boner watching it. I'm like, yeah,
I did
smash that
too.
Nazi. You
I did
know?
too.
Sorry.
And
Sorry, not sorry. They're Nazis. I don't
they're
know what to tell
like,
you.
what else are we
They're
supposed to
looking
do?
Nazis for the audience that doesn't understand about Nazis, but Nazis want the extermination of anybody aside from straight white blonde hair blue-eyed people. Like that's the whole world needs. That's all they want is that person to live and nobody else should live. So
And their
if you
leader,
have
for
that
whatever reason,
mindset.
had like dark hair. Like
Huh?
their leader had,
Oh
Hitler
yeah, that
was
was
a
weird.
dark. So, who's
But yeah, like oh, so we can all agree they're bad. If they want everybody else dead and not to exist and they want to torture them, I don't know. I feel like Nazi bad. I don't know. I'm
I
okay with them getting their asses kicked. Sorry.
I'm 100% with you. Especially, again, coming off what you said about some people in terms of that programming, especially at a young age, if it's that deep in and there's no going back, especially if they don't want to go back. I think about this now in regards to Trumpism and MAGAism today, which is pretty damn close to Nazism. Dare I ask, but I will, is the same response needed now? Is it justified now? Is there room for compromise, or have we been put in a place
Well,
where we're
and I
getting
think that's why they're in power is because, they're showing up with fists and blow torches and guns,
and
and
tiki torches?
yeah, and the Democrats are like, so let's just discuss. You come sit at the table with us. Like let's figure
Right.
this out. And they're like, nah. And they're gonna bulldoze everything and destroy everything. And Democrats, listen, I'm a Democrat, but like the Democrats have always just, and the reason they have this sort of I guess national view and there's this mindset that Democrats are pussies is because they don't have that sort of there's no bulldozers. There's no bazookas. They just show up every day without arms.
Yeah.
And that's not, and that's what, honestly, I want to bring it back if I can,
Please.
all the way back, and just talk about what had happened to the completely sovereign free nation of Tibet, which by even mentioning it, this episode probably won't even air in China, because that's exactly what happened. We had a whole sovereign nation of people that were Buddhist monks and pacifists, and you had another country that's like, oh, there's probably cool stuff over in their land, and they're like, we're just going to come in and take it, and they smashed all the temples, and they killed a bunch of monks, and they burned libraries and forced people into hiding and just took Tibet for their own, whatever. And now the nation's no longer there, and the Dalai Lama was never able to return. But anyway, it's that sort of thing. It's like, because there's certain people that you can't reason with. You know what I mean? If somebody's showing up
Right.
at your house with a gun,
Then
you know,
right, yeah.
it's like you can't just be like, "Oh, can you please go away?" It's like,
It's
no,
like
you kind
that's
of got to show up with a bigger gun.
I mean, at this point, and I'm not here, and I want to make this very clear on Cinema Z, we are not supporting violence in general. Like, we were not supporting violence in general, but I think
No,
that
we're just trying to explain like how I guess, at least on my end, I'm trying to explain how we ended up in this predicament to begin
right.
with.
And I genuinely I think that when we look at what is happening right now in our government in terms of these right-wing extremists, these new age Nazis, I'm gonna call it what it is, um, outright defying the law. I mean, there have been some victories here and there, some small victories. We have that one student activist. I can't remember. Was he from Columbia University? Grad student that was just released. He was detained, I believe, detained by ICE. He, I believe, was an American citizen. Either way, this administration is outright just disobeying. And when you have the head of the administration, Donald Trump, who is a felon and who is in fact a criminal,
But there's no consequences.
there's no consequences.
There was Elizabeth Warren. I live in Massachusetts and I voted for Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
I've liked her for a very long time, but she posted something. She posted something the other day on BlueSky, and it was something to the effect of, what's happening in DC is not normal, and the alarm bells are ringing, and and I just responded back, and I'm like, yeah, Lizzie, the alarm bells have been ringing so loudly for such a long time that I'm now deaf
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when is action going to happen?
Yeah.
We can sit around discussing, oh, this isn't normal. This isn't normal. Okay, fine. We get it. It's not normal, honey. Do fucking something.
Yeah. And it is.
I don't need to be told by everybody in the media, and every time I turn on my phone, this isn't normal. This isn't normal. No shit.
Yeah.
Fucking do something. Stop talking about this isn't normal and start talking about, like, okay, this is how we're going to fight it. This is what we're going to do in response. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear, oh, this isn't normal. No shit.
I feel the exact same way. And I definitely feel that I think, again, the Inglorious Bastards were a direct response to Nazism. And Nazism, in my opinion, in essence, is giving a group of people an ultimatum of it is either you or me, quite literally. And in this country, I don't want to sow any division, but at this point, we have the next generation of Nazi extremists who are quite literally saying, it is you or me, to trans people, to people of color, to women, to disabled people, to army veterans. They're saying it is you or me. And if the courts are not going to step in, and if we are being given an ultimatum, and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that, but if you are putting people in a position of it's either you or me, if you're giving people an ultimatum of life or death, then you have to be prepared for people to fight for their lives and defend themselves. We can see this throughout history. We can see it. I mean, we had the abolitionist movement. We had even the Black Panthers who, God forbid black people own guns in this country, but that was not this random movement to decide to go after white people, to go after police officers. This is direct response to people of color's lives being threatened, and we have to now defend ourselves. We are being forced into this position, and anyone that is not white, straight, male, rich, and Republican is being forced into this position yet again. And responses will happen. Luigi's will happen. There will probably be more Luigi's because we are all being put in an ultimatum position.
This episode has been sponsored by the NRA.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh God.
Also, if you're sending Luigi your underwear, stop. He's got enough.
He's got
already.
so many.
He's got so many pairs.
So many. God. And he's bi, probably.
Yeah.
Have you seen that playlist?
I'm waiting for the videos to drop, dude. I'm waiting.
Like, I think what's
That's
funny,
gonna make him so much money.
it's, I mean, the funny thing is that, and I think this is also how out of touch this older conservative generation is because they thought that by putting out that image of him being escorted by all of these guards, they thought that that was going to put him in a negative light. It made him hotter. They thought that by saying he's got porn videos out there, all of us are like, where's the footage? Find the footage. There's just I could go on, but it's just so funny that they have done everything to try to discredit this man. and to
They
bring
showed him in shackles in court, and everybody's like, "Oh, did you see his ankles?"
like listen, the thirst for Luigi is real. You know, to bring this portion of this to a close, I'm telling you right now, conservatives, people on the MAGA train, you're putting people in a position, you're putting people in an ultimatum position, and there's always a response. You're putting people in a life or death position.
Luigi's the bear Jew.
He is. He
When he showed up with that wife beater, I was like, "Oh damn, girl, hit me with the bat."
he listen. I bet it's like it's probably good. It's probably I think he is like never mind. I'm not going to go there. I'm not saying it. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to be
You know he's
wholesome.
cut.
I think that the sex is like it's like rough but like just enough. Like he's not trying to kill you. Like it's just enough.
Yeah, you're about to say the safe word, but then you stop yourself because there's a little bit of pleasure left in the tank.
Oh my god, it hurts so I bet you it hurts so good. Hands down. Mark, we're never gonna have another podcast after
What are we
this.
talking about?
This is the last one, Mark. This is it. We're getting canceled. We are getting canceled.
Absolutely. If there's a show on BQN getting canceled, we will be the first.
We're going. We're
Sorry, Amy.
Amy, I love you. I am so sorry that we went on a tangent talking about Luigi. So, moving on to something, listeners, that we love to do, and that is Director's Cut.
And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
In Director's Cut, we like to talk about and replay or reenact some of our favorite scenes from the film. So, I have picked for our first scene the
How many characters are in this scene, Matt?
oh hush,
there
there's
six?
two. There's two, Mark, and I made sure that there were two. I looked through each of the scenes and I'm like, oh, there's two here. Mark will be happy.
Oh, it was definitely gymnastics for Harlem Nights. Woo! We had fun. We had so much fun with that episode. But wow, that was a lot of characters.
That was, but look, if Eddie Murphy can do it, we can do it too.
Hell yeah.
So, and you'll be happy. This one is a monologue. So there.
Okay.
This is the monologue that Lieutenant Aldo Rain gives to the Inglorious Bastards. It's the famous killing Nazis monologue. So, do you want to read? Do you want me to read? What do you want to do?
I think on the next one, I think you've got Landa on there, and I think I want to do that.
Okay. All right, then I will read the Killing Nazis monologue by Lieutenant Aldo.
Okay.
Action.
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain, and I'm putting together a special team. And I need me some 8 soldiers. 8 Jewish American soldiers. Now, y'all might have heard rumors about the Armada happening soon. Well, we'll be leaving a little earlier. We're going to be dropped into France dressed as civilians. And once we're in enemy territory, as a bushwhacking guerrilla army, we're going to be doing one thing and one thing only: killing Nazis. The members of the National Socialist Party have conquered Europe through murder, torture, intimidation, and terror, and that's exactly what we're going to do to them. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I sure as hell didn't come down from the goddamn Smoky Mountains, cross 5,000 miles of water, fight my way through half Sicily, and then jump out of a fucking airplane to teach the Nazis lessons in humanity. Nazis ain't got no humanity. They're the foot soldiers of a Jew-hating mass murdering maniac, and they need to be destroyed. That's why any and every son of a bitch we find wearing a Nazi uniform, they're gonna die. We will be cruel to the Germans, and through our cruelty, they will know who we are. They will find evidence of our cruelty in the disemboweled, dismembered, and disfigured bodies of their brothers we leave behind us. and the Germans will not be able to help themselves from imagining the cruelty their brothers endured at our hands, and our boot heels, and the edge of our knives. And the Germans will be sickened by us, and the Germans will talk about us, and the Germans will fear us. And when the Germans close their eyes at night, and their subconscious tortures them for the evil they've done, it will be with thoughts of us that it tortures them with. Sound good?
Sir, yes, sir.
That's what I like to hear. I got a word of warning to all would-be warriors. When you join my command, you take on debit. A debit you owe me personally. Every man under my command owes me 100 Nazi scalps. And I want my scalps, and all y'all will get me 100 Nazi scalps, taken from the heads of 100 dead Nazis, or you will die trying.
Cut.
I mean, how lucky is Brad Pitt in his career? Because, early on you could be like, well, Brad Pitt got, X, Y, and Z job because he was like gorgeous. And, to some degree that was probably accurate. And he's still gorgeous. But the thing is like Hollywood definitely favors the young, right?
Yes.
And Brad Pitt is no longer young. We can say that. He is in his 60s or whatever now.
Yeah.
And yes, he's still gorgeous and still a hunk, but he's starting to get these really meaty roles, I feel like, older in his life, where his acting chops are really shining through. Like these decades and decades in Hollywood, you're really seeing, wow, like he is a good actor. And you see it here in this monologue. Like he just crushed it. He did great.
I think
the accent was great.
Oh, it was phenomenal. I remember watching this movie thinking this is the first time that Brad Pitt was not Brad Pitt. And that is not a shot at the actor at all. Again, it's just going along with what you said. I think, as actors, especially, in Hollywood, that tends to compartmentalize you to a type and put you in a box. You really sometimes only get access to certain types of roles, and you want to work. And this is the first time that we really get to see Brad Pitt stretch himself and do something different. And I really enjoyed that. And this is one of the first times I remember noticing Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Noticing him. Yeah. Yeah. So moving on to scene number 2. This scene is I guess you could say technically it is the second exchange between Shoshana and Landa.
Yeah.
Because the first time that Lana and Shoshana meet, Landa has killed all of her
whole family.
Yeah. So this is the second meeting. And, just a little bit of information for the listeners. If you haven't seen Inglorious Bastards, Landa at this point doesn't quite know that Shoshana is the surviving family member of the people that he massacred.
Yeah. She's dyed her hair. He didn't really get a good look at her when she was running bloody from, beneath a basement.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Even like, honestly, when I first watched, I guess I missed the part where they kind of explain it. And I didn't even get it until the very end of the film that was the same person, which I think made the movie better for me the first watch. When I've watched it this time and I said, oh, they explain it here. Here's where they tell you as the viewer. It's been X amount of time since her family was killed. I feel like, I don't know, that would be a critique of the film, because I feel like they should have left that out and let the audience, like I did my first time, discover it later and be like, oh shit. I think it would have made the movie better.
That would have been a really interesting payoff. I do think, and this is something that I thought about as I was watching the movie, I like how the rule is kind of broken in terms of traditional storytelling to establish the characters throughout the movie instead of at the very beginning, if that makes any sense. I think I like, and Tarantino does this a lot, where he'll have a quick cutaway. The moment that we introduce a character, he'll have a quick cutaway just to explain who that character is, and then we'll cut back to current time.
It's interesting that the speaking of like the scene at the end when they have the fire and whatnot, and they trap everybody in the theater. It's interesting that Tarantino remade that scene completely in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I have not seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, he and it was as though that scene was like real and part of history. And then you had that actor that was played by um, Leonardo DiCaprio,
Mhm.
who played the did he play the Bear Jew? He played the guy that like essentially locked everybody in the theater and then shot all the Nazis as they tried to flee.
Okay.
He played that dude. But yeah, like he remade that scene in that film, and it was like kind of an homage, and I just thought that was kind of cool, having seen both films.
Alrighty. Oh, and one more little bit of information, listeners. We are the characters of Landa and Shoshana are in a cafe, and the Nazi higher ups are discussing having this propaganda film premiere at Shoshana's theater, and Colonel Landa is lightly interrogating her. Anyway, here we go.
Action.
Have you tried the strudel here?
No.
It's not so terrible. So, how is it the young private and yourself came to be acquainted? Yes, 2 strudels, one for myself and one for the mademoiselle. A cup of espresso with a container of steamed milk on the side, and for the mademoiselle, a glass of milk. So, mademoiselle, you're beginning to explain.
Up until a couple of days ago, I had no knowledge of Private Solar or his exploits. To me, the private was simply just a patron of my cinema. We spoke a few times, but
Mademoiselle, let me interrupt you. This is a simple formality. There's no reason for you to be anxious. I apologize. I forgot to order fresh cream.
one moment.
So, Emmanuel. May I call you Emmanuel?
Oui.
So, Emmanuel, explain to me, how does it happen that a young lady such as yourself comes to own a cinema? After you. Success?
Shoshana takes a bite of the pie.
Like I said, not so terrible. So you're explaining the origin of your cinema ownership.
The cinema originally belonged to my aunt and uncle,
What is their names?
Jean-Pierre and Adam Mimil.
And where are they now?
My uncle was killed in Pitts Creek.
Pity. Continue.
Aunt Ada passed away from fever last spring.
Regrettable.
Yes, he's a Frenchman.
It's come to my attention that you have a Negro in your employ. Is that true?
Yes, he's a Frenchman. His name is Marcel. He worked with my aunt and uncle since they opened the cinema. He's
Doing
only
what?
projectionist.
Is he any good?
The best?
Huh. Actually, one could see where that might be a good trade for them. Can you operate the projectors?
Of course I can.
Well, knowing Reichminster as I do, I'm quite positive he wouldn't want the success or failure of his illustrious evening dependent on the prowess of a Negro. So, if it comes to pass, we hold this event at your venue, talented no doubt as your Negro might be, you will operate the projectors. Is that acceptable?
Oui.
So, it would appear your young hero is quite smitten with you.
Private Zola's feelings for me aren't of a romantic nature.
Mademoiselle.
No, his feelings are not romantic. I remind him of his sister.
That doesn't mean his feelings aren't romantic.
I remind him of his sister who raised him.
It's sounding more and more romantic by the minute. Cigarette?
No, thank you.
Do you smoke?
Yes.
Then I insist. You must take one. They're not French, they're German. I hope you're not a nationalist about your tobacco. To me, the French cigarettes are a sin against nicotine. Oh, I did have something else I wanted to ask you, but right now. For the life of me, I can't remember what it is. Oh well, it must not be important. Till tonight, then.
Cut.
And again, listeners, as we've been saying, we have this this Colonel Landa who is playing with his food. He's playing with his food. It's very clear he knows that something is up if he's not able to put his finger on it. But I think that's just this character.
And it's just how just misogynistic he is, and just a bully and a tyrant and all of these things. Ugh.
Moving on to scene number 3, and I'll give a little bit of backstory for scene number 3. So, Marcel, the person that's running the projector at Shoshana Cinema, Shoshana is talking to Marcel about what has just happened with this exchange between her and Colonel Landa, and the fact that the Nazis want to hold this movie premiere at her theater. And the plot thickens, and Marcel and Shoshana devise a plan. Do you want to play Marcel, or do you want to play Shoshana?
It doesn't matter to me. What do you want to do?
I'll be Marcel.
Okay.
Action.
What the fuck are we supposed to do?
It looks like we're supposed to have a Nazi premiere.
Like I said, what the fuck are we supposed to do?
Well, I need to speak with you about that.
About what?
About these Nazi swine commandeering our cinema.
What about it?
Well, when I was watching the Bosch Capricorn Abomination, I got an idea.
I'm confused. What are we talking about?
Filling the cinema with Nazis, their whores, and burning it to the ground.
I'm not talking about that. You're talking about that.
No, we're talking about that. Right now, if we keep this place from burning down by ourselves, we can burn it down by ourselves.
Shoshana.
No, Marcel. Just for the sake of argument, if we wanted to burn down the cinema for any purpose, of any reason, you and I could physically accomplish that. No?
Shoshana, we could do that.
And with Madame Mimo's 350 nitrate film print collection, wouldn't we even need explosive? Would we?
You mean we wouldn't need any more explosives?
Wait, that's exactly what I mean. I'm going to burn down the cinema on Nazi night. And if I'm going to burn down the cinema, which I am, which we both know, you're not going to let me do it by myself, because you love me and I love you. And you're the only person on this earth I can trust. But that's not all we're going to do. Does the filming equipment in the attic still work? I know the camera does. How about the sound recorder?
Quite well, actually. I recorded a new guitarist I met in the cafe last week. It works superb. Why
Because
do we need
Marcel, my sweet, we're going to make a film just for the Nazis.
Cut.
And the plot thickens, and it is set into place. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. That was a good scene. I wish that they had more time together. I feel like they didn't have enough time together in this film.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I wanted to see more of them together for sure. For sure. Okay. And here we are on our next scene. This scene is, I think it's one of the famous scenes. It's the bar scene with the with Michael Fassbender's character and the rest of the and some of the Inglorious Bastards, right? That are in this scene.
In the basement.
Yes, they're in the basement and they're meeting the actress Bridget, who is talking it up with some of the Nazi officers, and hijinks ensue, if you can call it hijinks.
I mean, I can be. It's like I have to be a couple in here. I can be Bridget.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this one's got. I think this one only has 3, so it's just one more person.
I can be Bridget and Eric.
Okay.
Action.
Now, who's next?
Major, I don't mean to be rude, but the 4 of us are very good friends. And the 4 of us haven't seen each other for quite a while. So, Major, I'm afraid you're intruding.
I beg to differ, Captain. It's only if the Fräulein considers my presence an intrusion that I become an intruder. How about it, Fräulein? Am I intruding?
Of course not, Major.
I didn't think so. It's simply the young captain is immune to my charms. I'm just joking. Of course I'm intruding. Allow me to refill your glasses, gentlemen, and I will bid you and the Fräulein adieu. What do you say, gentlemen?
You're most gracious, sir.
Eric, the 33, and new glasses. We don't want to contaminate the 33 with the swill you were drinking.
How many glasses? 5 glasses.
Not me. I like scotch. Scotch doesn't like me.
Nor I. I'll stay with the bubbly. 3 glasses.
To 1,000 year of Reich. Did you hear that? That's the sound of my logo pointed right at your testicles.
And why do you have a Luger pointed at my testicles?
Because you've just given yourself away, Captain. You're no more German than that Scotch.
Well, Major.
Major. Shut up, slut. You were saying?
I was saying, that makes 2 of us. I've had a gun pointed at your balls since you sat down.
That makes 3 of us. At this range, I'm a real Frederick Zoller. Looks like we have a bit of a sticky situation here.
What's going to happen, Major, is you're going to stand up and walk out that door with us.
No. I don't think so. I'm afraid you and I both know no matter what happens to anybody else in this room, the 2 of us aren't going anywhere. Too bad about them, though. They seem likable. You 2 will have to shoot them.
Then, Major, I implore you, for the sake of those German troops, will you please leave with us?
Oh, Bridget, your concern for German troops gets me right here. You mean for the sake of your whore legs, don't you? You can't afford to get any bullet holes in them. You're not finished spreading them for all the Hollywood Jews.
Well, if this is it, old boy, I hope you don't mind if I go out speaking the kings.
By all means, Captain.
There's a special rung in hell reserved for people who waste good scotch. And seeing as I might be rapping on the door momentarily, I must say, damn good stuff, sir. Now, about this pickle we find ourselves in, it would appear the only thing left for you to do...
And what would that be?
Stiglitz.
Say avitosen to your balls.
Cut.
And then it's a giant shootout, and almost everyone dies, except for
The actress.
yes.
But she
Ooh.
gets shot in the leg.
Yes. Oh, that's a crazy scene. I remember that scene. I think that one stuck out to me the most. That and the first Christoph Waltz scene at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Fassbender in this scene did a really good job. I think he was very... Well, I don't know what underutilized. He chewed up that every scene he was in, especially this one. But, man, I wish he was more of the movie.
Me too. I definitely think this is Michael Fassbender on the rise. Because 2 years before this, I don't know if did you ever see 300?
Yeah. Was he in that?
He was in that.
Was his shirt off?
Yes. He was in a
Oh.
leather Speedo. And
that was the guy.
yes, that was the guy. But also, like, if you go back and, okay, I'm going on a slight side tangent here, but if you go back and watch that movie, again, 300, Michael Fassbender and another character, the general's son, definitely have a thing happening.
Ooh.
You can watch the banter between the 2 of them. I'm like, these guys have done it, or they are going to do it, or they did it at some point. Trust me, just go back and watch that movie and watch the interaction with the 2 of them. It is plain as day.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good time.
So, Mark, if you could rewrite anything, would you rewrite anything?
I think, like, there's maybe some characters I would have liked to seen more of. I mean, the movie itself was already, was it 2.5 hours? So I don't know about adding more to that. The only way to trim would be to trim out some of the longer scenes, maybe without dialogue, some of the more cinematic moments. but just to get more time, maybe with like that the black boyfriend character or Michael Fassbender's character, just having them have a little bit more meat in this film, just would have made, I guess, their heroic acts all the more poignant.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with you on that one as well. I think I just needed a bit more of the relationship between Marcel. Um,
Marcel.
I think, yeah, I just want more. I agree. I want more with Marcel and Shoshana for sure. Because that could have been its own. I mean, it's all it's always, but that could have been its own movie too, the two of them. But I think that
Oh
would have been
yeah.
a more dramatic, like romance type of
Mm,
movie.
yeah, yeah.
That would have been, yeah. But I agree. I would have wanted to see more of Marcel and Shoshana for sure. Shoshana, not Shoshana. You know why I say Shoshana, listeners? Because I'm thinking of Shoshana Bean. I think we are going to another fun part of this pod, which is oh
Stand
no, we're
up.
not there. We're not there yet. This is also fun, but we're not there yet. We'll get there soon. First, standouts.
I brought it up a little bit earlier, and I think it's typical for the standouts for me to mention the music, but I do like the score and some of the music choices. Especially, I'm thinking that moment where uh, you have Shoshana,
Shoshana Bean.
Shush,
Shoshana Bean in a that's all that we're just gonna say Shoshana Bean in a Quentin Tarantino movie.
it's actually uh, Melanie Laurent is the actress, but she's getting ready for Nazi night, and she's sort of alone in the projection booth, and she's putting on her makeup and stuff, and they have that David Bowie. We're
Yes.
putting out fires with gasoline.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's like a whole vibe. It's a whole like music video. I'm like, this is cool. So I don't know. There are moments like that in this film where the soundtrack just sort of like took what was already a brilliant film and pushed it up a notch.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that juxtaposition. I have to say, I absolutely agree with you. I think for me, again, I know I've been talking about him the whole time. But for me, it's definitely Christoph Waltz. The character is despicable. The performance is phenomenal, and I watched him closely just to figure out what does he want, why is he doing what he's doing. It was a treat as an actor. It's just a treat to watch and study him, and I encourage other actors as well. If you're listening to this podcast, in particular, watch and study Christoph Waltz in this movie. It's something to see. Talk about being unpredictable, and especially if you're in a play and you want to keep that spontaneity going night after night. If you're doing a well-known piece, something like Shakespeare, and everybody knows how the story ends, but you as an actor want to make people think it's going to end differently, you need that element of unpredictability in your performance, and Christoph again is the one to watch. So here we are. We have arrived to trivia.
Trivia.
Quentin Tarantino was considering abandoning the film while casting searched for someone to play Colonel Hans Landa. He feared he'd written a role that was unplayable. After Christoph Waltz auditioned, both Tarantino and producer Lawrence Bender agreed they had found the perfect actor for the role.
The only movie Brad Pitt made as a leading actor for the Weinstein Company or its previous incarnation, Miramax. He has said it had everything to do with wanting to work with Tarantino and nothing to do with Harvey Weinstein. His animosity for Weinstein stems from an incident in the 90s where Pitt physically threatened the producer upon learning of Weinstein's sexual harassment of his then girlfriend, Gwyneth Paltrow.
This is the first Quentin Tarantino film to win an Oscar for acting. Christoph Waltz for Best Actor in a Supporting Role, well deserved. Waltz won another Oscar for Tarantino's Django Unchained. while his Inglorious Bastards co-star Brad Pitt would go on to win his first acting Oscar at the end of the decade for Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Quentin Tarantino worked on the script for almost a decade.
That's wild, but not unheard of. Not unheard of, and sometimes you need to take that time to get that piece as close to, I don't want to say perfection, because I think perfection is a very dangerous word, especially in the arts, but to get it to a place that you want it to be. Sometimes it takes that time. Roughly only 30% of the film is spoken in English. French or German dominate, with a little Italian. This is highly unusual for a Hollywood production. I actually really appreciated that choice.
In a roundtable discussion with Brad Pitt and Tarantino, Tarantino said that Til Schweiger had previously refused to put on a Nazi uniform for a film role, largely due to being born and raised in Germany, and that his very real hatred of anything Nazi related. When Schweiger was told he'd brutally kill a Nazi in every scene he wore the uniform, he happily agreed to play the part of Hugo Stiglitz.
I respect that. I appreciate that. To prepare for her role, Melanie Laurent worked as a film projectionist for a few weeks at New Beverly Cinema, projecting mostly cartoons and trailers before shows. The real test set by Quentin Tarantino was for her to screen Reservoir Dogs.
Interesting. I do want to tag on to some trivia about Melanie Laurent. She actually is a singer. She's a very good singer, and she has multiple
Really?
albums out,
Get
and
outta
I'm a
here.
fan. Yeah, I listen to her. Like, I like her as a singer. I think I learned about her probably through this film. But then I've been listening to her since then. So like over a decade, I've been listening to her music. So
What's her style of music?
it's kind of uh like jazzy kind of coffee shop kind of music. But her voice is incredible. So yeah, just easy listening kind of.
Is it poppy? Is it like Britney Spears?
It's absolutely nothing like Britney Spears.
Is it Ariana Grande?
No,
Is it Beyonce? Is it Cowboy Carter?
it's not any of those things.
It's not Cowboy Carter. I'm actually going to that concert on
No.
Wednesday. I am so excited. Anyway.
Have a good time.
Oh, I'm going to have the most fun. Quentin Tarantino intended for this to be as much a war film as a spaghetti western and considered titling the movie Once Upon a Time in Nazi-occupied France.
Oh, that's funny.
It's fun, it comes back around. He instead gave the title Once Upon a Time in Nazi-occupied France to the first chapter of the film.
And then, of course, came Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes. Final thoughts, Mark. How many scalps, how many Nazi scalps would you give this movie out of 5?
Man. Oh, heck with it. Matt, I think I'm gonna give it 5 scalps. 5 out of 5 scalps. Yeah, why not?
5 scalps.
Because I was having a hard time finding a reason not to. So I was like, all right, then give it 5.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's not like my favorite movie like of Tarantino's. It's
Right.
definitely Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown like hits all of them boxes. But when again I'm struggling to find things to ding it, I was like, fuck it, just give it 5.
I think I'm gonna do 4.5, just because.
So 4 scalps and then a swastika carved in a head.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's good. Just because I want to see more of Marcel and Melanie, so that's why I'm giving it 4.5. I do have to say, because we didn't mention this, the idea of carving the swastika in the foreheads, I thought was very, in my opinion, I thought it was poignant, and I thought it was a nice choice, because the way that I thought about it was, you have people that were sympathizers, that were soldiers, that were just following orders, whatever it was. They tried to avoid the accountability and the history of what they did. And to me, the concept of the swastika being carved into their foreheads was telling them they will never be able to erase what they did. And
Well, and it's like the people that survived the camps, they had to live the rest of their lives with tattoos.
right.
They couldn't hide where they were either.
Right. So I am all for that. I think, when MAGAism comes to an end, I want those people to be remembered as well, and to not be able to escape what they helped to contribute to. And that's just a personal feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
Calling all audiophiles and Trekkies. Prepare to boldly go where no podcast listener has gone before with the diverse soundscapes of BQN. We're not just a network, we're a universe of exploration, entertainment, and deep dives into the topics you love. Here's your star map to the sonic adventures awaiting you. Charting the Star Trek cosmos, we have all good things. Embark on a comprehensive journey through the entire Star Trek universe with insightful crew of Amy, Christos, Kelvin, and Kristen. From classic to current, they cover it all. Galaxy Class, Engage. Stephen and Stefan pilots this deep space mission, meticulously covering all aspects of Star Trek The Next Generation. Infinite Diversity. Stay current with the newest Star Trek frontiers alongside Chrissy and Thad. Union Federation. Whether your allegiances lies with Starfleet or the Planetary Union, Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley offer a unified front discussing both current Star Trek and the truly Trek at heart, the Orville. Crack open that book with Peter and the Trek Book Club podcast. Delve into the rich tapestry of Star Trek's beta canon. What's the T-Bab? Christos spills the latest Trek news and fandom insights with an essential LGBTQIA+ perspective, complete with engaging guest interviews. Our visual voyages that you can find on YouTube as well as a podcast are Trexperts Quiz. Think you're a Starfleet Academy graduate? Test your knowledge with Davey and MC's challenging Star Trek quiz show. And the View Screen. Tune in live on Sundays for your dose of Trek-inspired talk show. Kelvin and Amy host new 8-week seasons each spring and fall. Beyond the final frontier, we have Bargain Bin Gamer. Davey and Mitch, your self-proclaimed gamer guides, lead you to digital treasures, unearthing and reviewing the most affordable video game gems. Cinema Z. Grab your metaphorical popcorn for Mark and Matt's cinematic deep dives, unearthing overlooked films that demand your attention. History with the Szilagys. In order to never repeat it, tune in as Chrissy and Jason deliver bite-sized snippets of historical events from around the globe. And Transformational Journeys. Lex Rosa explores what it means to embrace authenticity in the face of societal expectations. To unlock deeper levels of engagement, try our patron perks. The Hive Mind is where you can join our random script readings, live reaction shows, and roundtable discussions. And check out our back catalog of It's Green, a verdant cornucopia of topics offering diverse and engaging conversations, and Amy's Math Moments. Discover the subtle and not so subtle mathematical wonders woven into the fabric of Star Trek. You can stay connected to our ever-expanding galaxy of content by following at BQN Podcasts on Instagram, BlueSky, YouTube, and Discord. We appreciate you choosing BQN to fill your auditory needs. Thank you for listening. Assimilate the audio.
So, what's happening in the next episode?
You know what, guys? We are going to do another one-off episode here on Cinema Z, And we haven't had too many of these. We did a while back have a roundtable. But next episode, what we're going to do is, instead of our typical format of discussing a film, we are going to focus on essentially the godfather of Cinema Z himself, Orson Welles, and his radio play, The Hitchhiker. So The Hitchhiker, if you guys don't know about it, it is a radio play that was written by Lucille Fletcher, who I just found out today was the originally she was like the ex-wife of Orson Welles, so they were married. So she wrote this. It was first presented on November 17th, 1941, and broadcast on the Orson Welles Show on CBS Radio. In the story, a man on a cross-country drive repeatedly notices the same hitchhiker standing along the side of the road. Though the hitchhiker's appearance is non-threatening, the driver becomes increasingly disturbed upon inexplicably seeing him again and again on the roadside, multiple times across several states. Eventually, the driver becomes too afraid to stop his car and even attempts to run the man down amid hysterical paranoia. After making a phone call home, however, he is shocked to hear information that totally changes his understanding of the predicament that he's in. So we are going to essentially... we're going to redo the radio play. So essentially, if you like our director's cut segment, it's going to be an entire episode of director's cut. We're going to read a script that was originally produced in 1941 for Orson Welles' radio show, and we're going to redo it here on Cinema Z, and we're going to have a cast helping us, and we're going to put this whole thing together, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I really hope that the listeners, what I hope they get out of it is, I hope that our listeners sort of maybe gain an appreciation for old school radio dramas, to sort of see, where a lot of storytelling came from, where like Twilight Zone, like stuff like that, like where did the origins of that come from? Because it didn't start with Twilight Zone. They were doing that type of thing beforehand. It was started on like the radio, then it went to Twilight Zone, and now it's in like Black Mirror and things like that. But the origin was way back then in the 1940s, when they were doing these radio shows. And so I think it would be cool for our audience to hear it. And I'm excited. It's one of my favorites. I've listened to it since I was a little kid. I had it on a cassette tape. And I think they're going to love it.
Awesome. Well, I am looking forward to it as well. Well, listeners, we would love to hear what you thought of today's episode, and we hope you'll join our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, to continue our discussion there. You can also skeet your thoughts too at CinemaZPod. Teehee. You can send those thoughts to at CinemaZPod on BlueSky, and let us know if you'd like to recommend a film. Please follow the network on BlueSky and Instagram on at BQN Podcasts. Don't forget, you can join the conversation with BQN hosts and fellow listeners on our Discord server. Reach out to any of our hosts for details. So, Mark, where can people find you when you are not scalping Nazis?
Well, when I'm not doing that, and I think that's why I have a clothesline in my backyard. I need them to dry out somewhere.
Right.
Anyway, when I'm not doing that, you guys can find me on BlueSky pretty much exclusively. And then also, yeah, I guess you can follow me on Letterboxd. I have the same handle over there. So it's MW207.
Cool.
And Matt, where can people find you when you are not burning down a theater full of Nazis?
Burning down a theater full of Nazis is my kink. What can I say?
girl.
When I am not burning down a theater full of Nazis, you can find me on BlueSky on at 1701 BLERD. That's my BlueSky for my web series, my Trekkie inspired web series. You can find me on BlueSky on my personal page on at matt.l.jenn. I believe that's what it is. You can also find me on at 1701 BLERD on TikTok and Instagram and Threads as well. And my personal Instagram is at MLJENN. Slide in those DMs. Say hi. Tell me you punched a Nazi in 2025. Please hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a star rating and written review. That helps others to find the show. You could also follow the entire network's podcast with our master feed by searching BQN.
At this time, we'd like to thank our associate producer, the lovely Miss Amy Nelson. A special thanks to Laz Marquez for our show's original artwork. The opening and closing music for this podcast is titled Dancing Dead and was provided by Ketsa from the Free Music Archive, providing royalty-free music for content creators.
If you'd like to help us keep all of our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. We will add you to the Hive Mind Facebook group so you can enjoy It's Green, Amy's Math Moments, and the other network perks with a monthly subscription of $5 or more. You can join our meetings on the Hive Mind Roundtable discussion on the second Saturday of each month. Visit patreon.com/BQN to get all the details and to watch your messages. Well, listeners, thank you for listening.
We hope you'll tune in next time. Oh, that's a bingo. Is that the way you say it? That's a bingo?
No, it's we just say bingo. We don't say any
bingo. How fun.
That's it. Did I mention that the entire pod I have had a gun pointed at your testicles?
That's interesting because this entire podcast I've had a gun also pointed at your testicles.
What a coinky dink.
That's my kink.